Hey, it's Chris here and welcome back to my absolutely ridiculous end-of-year coffee bar tour with two high-end espresso machines. Before we get into it, drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already for all things coffee, tech, and mechanical keyboards, and comment below what piece of gear you might like to have on your home coffee bar. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram where I make daily aesthetic posts, and consider checking out my Patreon if you would like to support the channel and enter for a chance to win free stuff. As a quick disclaimer, I will point out when something was sent to me for free, so with that being said, let's kick it off. Okay, so let's start with what's on top of the coffee bar, making our way from left to right. Then I'll go through what's underneath the coffee bar and in the drawers, and then I'll go through some of the surrounding decor and ideas for the setup. So I'm excited to say I have a brand new espresso machine courtesy of the fine people at Cliff & Pebble. So yes, it was gifted to me, and that machine is the Lilith Bianca V2. I'm super excited to even have the opportunity to own a machine like this, and I'm super grateful for them to send it out to me. Be sure to check out Cliff & Pebble if you're in the market for a brand new espresso machine using the link in the description down below. They have a huge selection of machines, including my other machine, which you can see right here, the Rocket Apartamento, and the team there is super helpful and can definitely get you what you need. I have only had the Bianca for a few days to a week to 2 weeks-ish now, so I can't explain my full thoughts on it just yet, but I will be doing some comparisons to the Rocket Apartamento and of course following up that with a full review of the machine. So with the Lilith Bianca, I am using an upgraded IMS Nanotech shower screen as well as a Nanotech basket. It's probably not super necessary to upgrade the shower screen, but I absolutely love the Nanotech gear because they have this weird sort of magical coating that just makes pucks come out super easily and cleanly and keeps your group head super clean. In fact, my Rocket's group head looks just as good as it did on day one. With the Bianca, I'm still using my all-metal Passata portafilters that I have had for quite some time, both in the bottomless and spouted versions. One of these was a gift from Passata. Since getting the Bianca, I've also enjoyed using the very unique Lilith spouted portafilter, which has the spouts facing towards you, which looks great to capture on camera as well. Next to the machine, I do have a rubber mat, which is actually a pet food mat, if you can believe it. I used to use rubber bar mats, but I've learned that pet food mats don't have the little indentations that you see on the mat, which for some reason I kind of just like the look of it better. And it's also a little bit bigger, which can house all of my puck preparation and grinders. Speaking of which, here I've got the Walnut La Marzocco knockbox. I have the St. Anthony Industries block, which was a gift from my girlfriend about a year ago and has held up very well since. For my puck preparation tools, I'm using a generic needle distribution tool, the Bravo distributor, and my Pullman Big Step tamper for my puck preparation tools of choice. As usual, all of this gear can be found using the links in the description down below. I also like to keep a little walnut box that sort of matches the aesthetic for housing all of my cleaning brushes, as well as my two puck screens nearby, one that was gifted from Normcore Wares and one that was gifted from Flair. For my grinders of choice, I am still using the Niche Zero with custom wood accents from a company called Trunk and Stem based in the UK. If you do want to pick up a wood accent kit, I suggest you follow them on Instagram where they do very limited drops every once in a while, and they do sell out very quickly. Next to that, I'm using the Comandante C40 Mark IV with the scope motorizer that I featured in a recent video, so be sure to go check that out if you haven't already. Then, of course, I do still have the Rocket Apartamento as I do some tests and comparisons to the Bianca. Finally, at the far right, I've got my 3D printed filter holder, which is FDM by Optical Blitz. Be sure to check out my video on that product if you haven't already. Underneath that, I am using the Akai Pearl S Smart Scale that, surprise, surprise, I do have a video review on. Right behind that is the Fellow-Stack EKG kettle, which was a gift from my girlfriend as well, but I did add the walnut accent kit, which was a gift from my friend Brian, who has a great coffee-centric channel that you should definitely go and check out. Now, let's talk about the bar itself. The whole thing is called the Render Sideboard by a company called Modway. I love the look of it, but I would probably stick to a more robust countertop in the future. Maybe something with metal legs and a quartz or marble top would be nice. Because I have such heavy equipment on this and I frequently pull it in and out so that I can get access to cables behind it. I did actually break the legs once. Luckily, nothing collapsed or got damaged. I had to take everything out, flip the bar over, fix it with some wood glue and some screws and some super glue, but got that all sorted out. Maybe in the future I'll switch to a more robust countertop, but for now I'm sticking with it. Now let's take a look inside the bar, starting with the top middle drawer. This is where I keep things like milk pitchers, cups, glassware, and some other random bits and pieces like my AeroPress and other filters. If you want to see a video on all the cups and drinkware I use for coffee, be sure to go and check out this one, linked right here I think, as that will have a full list of all the cups and mugs that I use for my coffee bar. The middle drawer is pretty much more the same thing. I do have some other little bits and pieces. And the bottom drawer is basically just for instant coffee, which is Kopiko. It's an Indonesian brand, which I absolutely love. So you should definitely try this out if you haven't already. It's not like specialty coffee. It's creamy, it's milky, it's sugary, it's sweet, and it's really good. Now on the two sides of the drawers, I do have extra storage, which is pretty much just where I store everything else. I get a lot of free stuff sent every once in a while. Sometimes I don't make it into videos. I also keep some of the things I use for recording these videos, like my podcasting mic and the Scarlett audio interface. If you want to check out more of the gear I use to make these videos, be sure to check out this video linked right here. So now let's talk about the whole corner itself and some of the decor that's here. So the whole thing is painted a Benjamin Moore gray, I think it's a dark gray finish. It's not quite matte black because I didn't want it to be completely dark, especially since I don't get a lot of good natural light in this area. I do have two wall shelves from Grove Made that I purchased myself. On the top one, I keep some decor for things that's a little bit harder to reach. I have a Kalita wave dripper, which was actually my first specialty coffee piece of equipment, which is why I keep it up there. I bought it when I was studying abroad in Dublin, Ireland. Next to that, I have the red glasses I used from my Day in the Life of James Hoffmann video. I also have the Bripe and a poster from 10 Thousands. I have a fake IKEA plant, of course, and I have a prop replica of Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. On the lower Grove Made shelf, I have the Supreme Red Mocha Pot, which may be making its way into an upcoming video. I have a few fellow Atmos jars, and I like to cut out the labels from my beans and stick them on the jar. The black one's actually being used to store some decaf beans because I don't go through those as frequently, so I keep them in the non-clear jar. So right now I have Winter Solstice from Pavement Coffee, and I also have a Costa Rican bean from Airship Coffee. And this other can of beans that was sent to me by a company called Four. I really like the aesthetic of the jar more than anything, so after I finished the beans, I kind of just kept the jar up there. Oh, one quick thing I did forget to mention is this little thing right here on the side of the coffee bar. That is actually the holder for the nanofoamer, which I keep in the drawer. And the reason why I stuck that there to the side is because I like to use the Kruve brew sticks. So that's where I store the brew sticks, which is what I use when I want to maybe do a kubomi or when I'm stirring a pour over. And finally, let's talk about some of the lighting I use. So on the wall over there, you can see there are two Nanlite Pavo tubes. I have a video on the DIY magnet mount that I built for these that you can check out, linked right here. And I also have two of the Philips Hue Edison bulbs, which are an upgrade from the previous ones I was using because those were not flicker free, but these Philips Hue Edison bulbs are. They're a little bit more pricey, but I think they're worth it, especially when I'm taking espresso shots that require high shutter speed and I don't want to get that rolling shutter. And finally, in terms of cable management, I keep this absolutely monstrous sized surge protector that I drilled into the wall right behind the coffee bar. And I think it's an Amazon Basics one, but it's like 6 foot long, and it has a bunch of little cords, and that way I can keep all of the plugs directly behind the machine rather than have them all centralized into a standard surge protector. That's my little life hack for organization, and you will also find that behind my desk, which I will be doing a setup tour of very soon. So anyway, that is everything that you can find on my coffee bar here at the end of 2021 and going into early 2022. Don't expect it to stay like this because the rocket, of course, will go at some point once I'm done doing some comparisons and testing. Once again, if you need links to anything featured in this video, they will be in the description down below. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.